With me on the telecast right now is Mr. K. Vijaya Kumar. K. Vijaya Kumar is the Managing Director and CEO of SAR Electric Mobility. It is a recent entrant into the electric two-wheeler market which manufactures electric two-wheelers. Good to have you, Mr. Vijaya Kumar, on the telecast with us. Obviously, the first question, since you deal with e-scooters, how has the demand raised in the past few months and years?
So in the past few years, I would say the electric scooter demand in India has been very buoyant. The consumers have started acknowledging the fact in terms of the benefit of electric scooter is giving to them commercially, as well as the change which it affects into the overall environment and the benefit it gets in. So the industry has been growing. So the segment share of scooters, electric scooters, in the scooter category overall with petrol has grown from 5.66% all the way up to 10% in the last couple of years. And I think it is hovering around 10 to 12% now for the scooter segment share in India.
Mr. Vijaya, would like to also understand from you in terms of statistics, how many electric scooters have been sold in Delhi so far?
So Delhi, we have reasonably started our operations in Delhi. We have started with 3 dealerships in Delhi, and we are very excited with the response which we have got. We just started 30 days before. In the last 30 days, we have generated demand for more than 100 vehicles. And the initial deliveries are presently in process. We have delivered more than 50 vehicles already to the customers in Delhi.
Right. Now, while the government continues to encourage consumers to switch to electric vehicles, what do you think are the key incentives for commuters to switch to electric vehicles, electric scooters in your case?
That's a very interesting question. The first and the primary reason is India is a very value conscious market, and when it comes to electric vehicles cost less than half as compared to running a petrol two-wheeler. Let's say a petrol two-wheeler today cost anywhere between 1 rupee 50 paisa to 2 rupees depending on the maintenance cost and the style of ownership and riding a customer has. As compared to that, electric scooter cost anywhere at 50 paisa, 40 paisa,
right,
between 30 to 60 paisa, depending on the usage. If it is a commercial use, it's a personal use. So it is a substantial saving for a consumer when he switches. So the way some of our customers says in Hindi, if you were to say, it's कहते सर दिन के 100 रुपए बचा देती है एक electric scooter. So that's one primary mode for which a consumer sees that as a value. The second, of course, is the environmental work. We have just seen how bad the Delhi pollution was. The pollution index has crossed 450, 460 as against a good state which will be below 75 today. So it is, and vehicle population, especially two-wheelers, have contributed a lot to that. So people are getting very aware of the fact that, for our future generation, even for us today, pollution is becoming a serious threat, and moving to electric and moving to a better technology, which is much cleaner to the environment, is important. So that to me is the second piece. Yeah. The third piece is, I think there is a overall awareness levels have increased from where it was 2-3 years before for electric. Now there is enough, not enough, but still a lot of vehicles on the road. So people are seeing consumers using the product, they're seeing it on the road, they're seeing with their neighbors, they're seeing with their friends. So there is a traction which is getting built. The industry is still not close to the growth point per se, or a deflection point, but I think it's getting there.
Right. When we talk about, ease of usage, ease of operations, how do electric vehicles compare to their counterparts?
So the first thing, of course, is the lightweight, weightedness and style and the overall design, because most of the electric scooters are newly designed as compared to petrol scooters, which has been designed quite I mean, they've been around for the last 30, 40 years. So it's much more consumer friendly. It's customer friendly from an digitization standpoint. Most of the electric scooters, let's say if you take electrics, LXS, the new product which we have launched, it is very much digitally connected. So you can see how much of battery is left in your vehicle, how much of distance it can go, where the vehicle is parked. These vehicles cannot be stolen because it's like on your app. Let's say today you do a Swiggy, Zomato, or an Uber, you can exactly see where the vehicle is, right, when it is coming to you. The same way, electric vehicle, any of the well-designed electric vehicles, you can actually see where it is. So there are a lot of benefit which a consumer has from a usage standpoint, which is not available with a petrol scooter. So one of our customers wanted to go on a holiday to Lucknow. He can actually switch off and he can see sitting in Lucknow where is that vehicle exactly parked in his Vasant Vihar house.
Correct.
And he can ring fence it that beyond 500 meters that vehicle nobody can even carry. It will not start. So there are a lot of functional benefits which has been built into an electric scooter which was not there in the petrol vehicle. Then the third thing, of course, is the hazard of going to a petrol pump, standing in that queue, filling it up. This you can charge it at your home. You don't have to even go out at all. You just plug it in and morning you have a vehicle ready to go. And tomorrow you will have swap solutions where, you can use batteries, and the swapping, you can do it as 1/3 of the time invested in for petrol. So overall, it's a very convenient thing to do. It is much, much more connected. It's much more safe. It saves you money. It saves you time. And you know exactly what you're doing with that product. So I think these are the couple of reasons why people are switching to electric.
Okay, now obviously the very logical next step is going to be improving our EV infrastructure. How can private players and the government come together to move in that direction?
I would say, see, the EV charging infrastructure, what are the primary drivers which will be required? First is deep penetration. So it has to mirror the representation or visibility of an Indian oil petrol pump today, which is a substantial task. For a petrol pump, it has taken 50 years for it to reach the penetrations where it is today. So whether with the government, with the private companies, with the OEMs, with charging infrastructure organizations, we need to build a penetration which will mirror or better a petrol availability in any given city, state, taluka, district. So that's point number one, which is the penetration, which is one of the pain points where a consumer is afraid or worried that he has to go extra distance to get to a petrol pump, get to a charging station. The second is standardization. Today that technology is evolving. So there are multiple layers in this. There is a battery there, there is a connector there, there is a vehicle there, there is a charging infrastructure there, then there is charging dock there, and there is a software in terms of how the consumer will interact with the charge station and how he will pay. And this whole piece needs to be standardized. So the industry is going through that flux and various versions of it. So there is certain thing which has been developed in India, there are certain global standards which is coming in, and there are certain things which the futuristic organization like Electrics is working on. Now government is working on standardizing these. So standardization is going to be one of the next, and it's not that easy to do because the vehicles already in the market are at a different standard. The present batteries and the BMS and the charging stations and the infrared at particular levels, and then the future is at a particular level. And given these differences, standardizing them and then investing for that is a big challenge. So my second issue on that is the overall standardization. And the third point is, this is a very capex heavy field, whether it's the battery, whether it's the charging station, and it has to be put up to achieve that penetration levels which I mentioned in the first. So government has to step in, or certain larger organization, petrol companies, OEMs have to step in together as a group to build out this capex to do this across the country. It cannot be done by one organization. It cannot be done by one battery company or a one two-wheeler company or a one BMS company. It has to be a very well standardized large capex implementation across the country. which I think is a challenge given everybody's personal interest and, not personal interest, every organization's their own interest and then the government intervention. So I think there are a lot of moving parts there and it's all slowly getting settled and we are on our way. It will take some time, but I think it will happen.
Okay. What is the incentive that the governments can give to the consumers, to the commuters, to push them, to encourage them to switch to electric vehicles?
So the first thing is, I think I would like to congratulate the government. Globally, I think India is the only government where they have done the subsidies, the help to the electric mobility to the extent they have done it in India to get it to this scales this fast. I think the first thing is continuing their effort. I think we are there 50-60%. Another one more push, and I think we should be closer to the range of 90%. And from there, the industry will take it over. So I think continuing their exceptional good work which they have initiated for one more turn, which will be maybe next 2-3 years, and from there, and then the industry will get to a particular volume from where it can, which can get it going. So that's one. Second is, as I mentioned to you, bringing everybody on the table to get the standardization on board, whether it is through a PLI, whether it is through a FAME3, whether it is through a charging infra and battery standardization. So getting all these pieces together is where the government will have the largest help coming in. And the last is, whichever direction we all decide, staying course with that for the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years, till it reaches a particular level of commercial viability for the industry. I think that responsibility and help will be required by the government.
All right. Quickly then, Mr. Vijay Kumar, do you feel the governments, both at the center and at the state, have done enough for making the transition to making India and Delhi electric? And if so, what are these measures that have been taken?
As I mentioned to you, the first step, the help has been from the government in terms of bridging the gap between an EV and a petrol vehicle, where there has been FAME1, FAME2 and the PLI schemes. So that's been an exceptional work by the government. And we request and expect the government to continue that. And at state levels, there are additional subsidies to these. Gujarat had a subsidy, Delhi has an ongoing subsidy, Maharashtra had a subsidy, and various states have various different permutation combination subsidies, which has helped again bridge that gap to get this going. The third is there are many states which has been off registration charges and stuff like that. So basically making it much more affordable, the EV purchase much more affordable for an Indian consumer is where the government and the state government have helped in. And the last but not the least, there have been special schemes and offers for EV companies to set up manufacturing and R&D facilities in specific states, which are on offer today, and many of the OEMs are participating in that and taking benefit of that.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me on the telecast, sharing your views.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.